Breaking up is one of the hardest things to do. You would think that in school, when we're learning reading, writing, and arithmetic, we'd also learn conflict resolution. Unfortunately, many of us don't, and we have to learn in the real world. As I mentioned, breaking up is hard to do, but you know what's even worse? Breaking up with someone and you have a kid with them. Now, a lot of people will try to move on prematurely and say, hey, let's be friends and let's co-parent and hold hands off into co-parenting land, when it's not so simple. Today, we're going to talk about 5 ways to know that your ex is not ready to be friends with you. If they're constantly bringing up the past, every time you call about the kid, you want to pick up your child, maybe you want to just talk about an issue with money or something with school, if they're bringing up things that you used to do or how you used to do or who cheated or who left whom, and there's not been any sort of resolve, then you guys are not ready to be friends yet. At most, you are co-parents. That means you're in the business of responsibly raising a healthy, strong-minded individual. Let them finish their point because they're still stuck in a place that you've moved on from. However, when you notice that things are getting tense or the conversation keeps cycling back to the child, remind them, hey, so I'm really just calling about the kid, but I understand there's some other stuff that you just not worked out yet. I'm so sorry. I've moved on from there. But when you're in a place to just talk about our baby, can you call me back? Now, more than likely, you're not going to get a favorable response from that because people want their feelings to be acknowledged, especially if you're the one that has hurt their feelings or if they're a person that generally doesn't do well with handling emotions anyway. In a lot of cases, time does heal the wound and they kind of see how they sound and they'll move on, or they'll find a therapist or a coach or maybe a friend to talk to. And I know it's so tempting to want to defend yourself when it seems like your ex is attacking you over your past relationship. Don't get sucked in. Like I said, let them finish their point and then bring the conversation back, having the child as the center. For example, it would go something like, oh, you remember when you used to do this? You cheated on me or you didn't pay this bill? Let them finish. And you could say something like, I did let you finish your point, but I also want to talk about little Junior and the report that we got from his teacher. You're going to have to literally constantly bring it back. And you're the leader of this relationship. Act like it. Don't get sucked in because it's not going to end well for anyone. It takes intentional dedication to move from romantic partners to just co-parents. If either of you are still holding on to feelings of contempt, resent, regret, or somebody wants to get back together, then you're not ready to be friends. The third reason you'll know that your ex is not ready to be friends with you is if they're always disrespecting or disparaging your new partner, or if they straight up try to exclude them. Now, don't get it confused because they're nice to you during interactions with the kids or conversations, but if they make it their business, even indirectly, to not acknowledge your new partner or to straight up bash them, then they can't really be your friend. Another telltale way to know that your ex is not ready to be your friend is if they haven't really acknowledged their part in the demise of your relationship. Now, when we're breaking up, things can get messy and we usually want to place the blame on the other person. However, it does take 2 to tango and it takes 2 to leave the dance floor. No matter who's ultimately at fault, the relationship has ended and now it does need to transition into something healthy. But if that hasn't happened yet, there's still emotional business to sort out, and it's going to be quite difficult to get to the business of co-parenting. Last but not least, friendships are based on boundaries and respect. And if your ex is always crossing boundaries or barely giving you the respect that you know that you deserve, then they can't really be your friend. If you're finding that interactions and conversations are full of conflict and lead to a lot of stress and anxiety, it's best to use a co-parenting app, communicate via text or email. And if all else fails, then you're going to have to go to those handy dandy courts and file some paperwork so that they can kind of help your family sort things out. Now, keep in mind, once you get the courts involved, it's pretty much war. It's very difficult to go from going to court, being on opposite sides of the table with one another, to coming together. It's difficult, but not impossible. So as you navigate these murky co-parenting waters, remember that you're not going to be friends immediately, but don't ever rule it out in the future. I'm Master Step Family Coach Naja Hall, founder of Blended in Black and VIP Stepmom. No matter where you are in your co-parenting journey, I have resources for you. So please visit me at either one of my platforms.